Well, hello employees. Brian Bessa, your Chief Human Resources Officer here with Grace Lutheran Communities, and I'm excited to sit here and talk with Courtney Hovland. She's a licensed professional counselor and part of our partnership with Prevea, specifically in the realm of behavioral care. And again, this is a video kind of consistent with a few other videos we've done regarding some of our employee health benefits and just benefits in general related to employees. And so continuing that web series, last time we talked with Anna Cooper, who is one of the providers at the Center for Health and Wellness in Altoona, and she talked about some of the services. So today we're diving a little bit deeper and specifically talking with Courtney regarding some of the behavioral care resources that are available. So thanks for joining us today, Courtney.
Thank you for having me.
So Prevea uses the term behavioral care, and so maybe if you could just introduce to our employees what types of services really fall under the title of behavioral care when we're talking about access.
Well, with regards to counseling services, I see patients as young as the age of 3 and then all the way up to adulthood. Some of the symptoms that we address then are depression, anxiety, relationship difficulties, if that's with a significant other or a parent-child relationship. Also really focusing on stress management skills and making sure that we're using coping skills, and then, working on having good communication and addressing our emotions.
Yeah, and clearly with COVID-19 and some of the additional stressors that are being put on families and individuals as part of their work, or some other stressors that may be introduced into their lives given the circumstances, those are significantly needed resources. And we also know that those types of resources are maybe a little bit underserved in our community, where there just aren't as many providers. And I think the fact that Prevea also serves some of the younger population is very unique to the offering. So, but having said that, one of the things that I think comes to mind as you mentioned some of those services, those are very sensitive subject areas, and so those things can be very hard for people to feel comfortable sharing with even their own family members, much less a professional healthcare provider. So could you speak a little bit to, what are some of the ways that Prevea and you as a provider go about making sure that we're being sensitive to the fact that those are vulnerable topics?
Yeah, so one of the great things that we have at this point is we have the availability of either completing appointments in person or via virtual. Each service too is tailored to each individual. So there is no cookie cutter way of receiving the services. And another thing that's really important to remember is that services are completely confidential. This isn't information that we're sharing with your employer. So we really want to ensure that individuals feel that they have that privacy and feel safe to be able to talk through whatever might be going on in their lives at this time.
Yeah, and clearly concerns about travel or people who might be more susceptible to the conditions that are out there, being able to access those resources virtually, are, telephonically or otherwise, obviously, might save someone a trip, or if transportation is a concern, gives them the ability to interact with those resources from the comforts of their own home. One of the, kind of along the themes of these interviews that we've been doing is understanding, and Pastor Deb introduced this in one of the first videos we did, is a little bit of the discussion around self-care and what people can be doing without necessarily seeking help from their healthcare provider team. If you were to give our employees kind of a piece of self-care advice, especially during this unprecedented time that we're going through, what might be a good recommendation for people to approach their own self-care?
I think it's important for all of us just really to seek out others, and if we're struggling, to ask for that help. None of us expected to be going through a pandemic, and we're all in this together. So trying to find those opportunities to spend fun, positive moments with others, and then just being creative too on the different things that we can do with us having this nice weather, you know, being in summer, trying to be able to enjoy the outdoors, even though we may not be able to be as close to each other as we'd like to.
Yeah, I think maintaining that human connection, even if it has to be done virtually or at a distance, is still an important part of what it means to be human. Obviously, I think some people are starving for that at this point, and maybe aren't getting some of that social interaction that's really a big piece of our mental well-being. So I think that's great advice. So, well, thank you, Courtney, for spending a little time explaining some of the services that are accessible through our partnership with Prevea in the behavioral care realm. And obviously, your physical location is also very convenient in the fact that it's within the Center for Health and Wellness there in Altoona. So again, just you know, you'll see it here on the video, but there's some information about the hours that the resources that, again, both the Center for Health and Wellness and the behavioral care, Courtney and her team and others who are available. So those will be on your screen here at the end of the video, or maybe right now as you're looking. So you can see that. You'll also see the contact information of how to schedule those visits or get in touch with the providers. Again, it was mentioned, as Courtney said, virtual care is also always an option for people to get on and start scheduling or approaching the care virtually or telephonically. So don't miss those opportunities if they're more convenient. And as always, if you have questions regarding some of our overall health benefits that are available through our partnership with Prevea, don't hesitate to get in touch with the HR team or your supervisor. Obviously, the point of doing these videos is to highlight some of the services that are available and to make sure that we're continuing to support our employees and their families during a tough time, and make sure that they have the tools and resources not only within the walls of work, but also in their care, as well as other things that affect their employee experience so that they can come to do their best work every day. So in our next video, we're looking to highlight some of the fiscal resources that are available through our partnership with PayActive, and so giving employees access to some of their earned income prior to pay date. So we'll be able to highlight some of those in our next video. We hope you'll join us in that web series.